Trapped in a cult's ritual, I faced death to escape. My name is Ethan Carver, a 32-year-old mechanic from a small town in Ohio. I never thought I'd be the guy telling a story like this, but here I am, still shaking from what happened. It started innocently enough. I was scrolling through a forum late one night looking for answers about my insomnia. That's when I stumbled across a post about a group called the Order of the Veil. They promised clarity, purpose, a way to transcend the mundane. I was skeptical but desperate. Life felt like a fogwork, bills rinse repeat. The website was sleek, with glowing testimonials about finding inner peace. I signed up for Meetup, thinking it was just a self-help group. The first meeting was in a community centre. About 20 people, all ages, sat in a circle. The leader, a guy named Silas with piercing blue eyes, spoke about shedding societal chains. His voice was magnetic, almost hypnotic. I felt drawn in, like he was speaking directly to me. They invited me to a weekend retreat in the woods, saying it would change everything. I packed a bag, told no one, and drove 3 hours to a remote cabin in the Allegheny Forest. When I arrived, the vibe shifted. The group, about 30 now, wore white robes and spoke in hushed tones. Silas greeted me, his smile warm but unsettling. They took my phone, saying it was too detached from distractions. I didn't argue, I was already hooked on their promises. That night, we sat around a fire. Silas preached about crossing the veil to true enlightenment. I didn't know what it meant, but the group's fervor was contagious. I wanted to belong. The next morning, they blindfolded us and led us deeper into the woods. My heart raced, but I told myself it was just team building. We stopped in a clearing with a stone altar, etched with strange symbols. Silas said we'd participate in a ritual to cleanse our souls. I noticed some members exchanging nervous glances, but I brushed it off. Then they handed me a cup of bitter, metallic-tasting liquid. A drink, Silas urged. My gut screamed no, but everyone was watching. I swallowed it. The world blurred. My limbs felt heavy, and voices echoed like they were underwater. I realized too late they drugged me. Silas's voice cut through the haze, chanting in a language I didn't understand. The group formed a circle around the altar, their faces twisted with something like ecstasy. I tried to move, but my body wouldn't obey. Panic glowed at me as Silas raised a knife, its blade glinting in the firelight. He said my sacrifice would open the veil. That's when I knew this wasn't a retreat. I'd walked into a cult, and they wanted me dead. My vision swam as the drug coursed through me, but survival instinct kicked in. I was sprawled on the cold ground, the stone altar looming above me like a gravestone. Silas's chants grew louder, his knife catching the flickering torchlight. The other cult members swayed, their eyes glassy, lost in some trance. I wasn't supposed to be awake. Whatever they gave me was meant to keep me docile, maybe even kill me. But my body fought back, adrenaline burning through the haze. I had to get out. I forced myself to stay still, playing possum while my mind raced. The air was thick with incense and something fouler, like decay. Silas's voice hit a fever pitch, and I caught fragments of his words: blood, a veil, offering. My stomach churned. I wasn't just a participant, I was the main event. My hands, numb but functional, brushed against a sharp rock. I gripped it, hiding it beneath my sleeve. If I was going down, I'd take someone with me. The chanting stopped. Silas loomed over me, his face a mask of calm fanaticism. "Ethan, your soul will ascend," he said, raising the knife. That's when I moved. I swung the rock, catching him in the temple. He stumbled, blood trickling down his face, and the crowd gasped. Trance broke for a moment, and I bolted, my legs wobbly but driven by pure terror. Shouts erupted behind me as I crashed through the underbrush, branches clawing at my skin. The forest was a maze of shadows. I didn't know where I was going, just away. My heart pounded so hard I thought it'd burst. I heard footsteps, too many, gaining on me. The cult wasn't just a handful of weirdos, they were organized, relentless. I tripped over a root, slamming into the dirt, and for a second I thought it was over. But then I saw it, a faint glow through the trees. A road? A house? I didn't care. I scrambled up and ran toward it. The glow was a lantern outside an old shed. I threw myself inside, barricading the door with a rusty shovel. My breath came in ragged gasps as I scanned the dark for anything useful. There was a hunting knife, a coil of rope, and a cracked mirror reflecting my panicked face. Outside, voices closed in, calling my name like a twisted prayer. I grabbed the knife, my hand shaking. The door rattled as someone was trying to get in. I had seconds, maybe less. I wished myself into a corner, clutching the knife, ready to fight. The door splintered, and a figure stepped through, silhouetted against the moonlight. It wasn't Silas, it was a woman, one of the cult members. Her eyes were wide, not with zeal but fear. "They're coming," she whispered. "We have to run, now." The woman's name was Claire, and she looked as terrified as I felt. Her white robe was torn, her face streaked with dirt. "They'll kill us both," she hissed, grabbing my arm. I didn't trust her, how could I? But the pounding on the shed door left me no choice. I nodded, gripping the hunting knife tighter. She pointed to a loose board in the back wall. "Through there, hurry." We pried it open, slipping into the night just as the door splintered behind us. The forest was alive with pursuit shouts, footsteps, the snap of branches. Clay moved like she knew the terrain, dodging roots and ducking under low branches. My lungs burned, the drug still sluggish in my veins, but fear kept me moving. "Why are you helping me?" I gasped as we ran. She didn't look back. "I was like you, knew. Then I saw what they do to offerings." Her voice cracked. "They don't want enlightenment, they want blood." We reached a ravine, the drop steep and dark. Claire hesitated, then pointed to a narrow path winding down. "It's our only shot," she said. I heard dogs barking in the distance, hunting dogs. My stomach dropped. These people weren't just fanatics, they were predators. We scrambled down the path, rocks skittering underfoot. Halfway down, Claire slipped, grabbing my arm to steady herself. For a moment, I thought she'd pull us both over the edge. At the bottom, a shallow stream cut through the ravine. We waded through, the icy water shocking my system awake. Claire kept glancing back, her eyes wide. "They track you," she whispered. "Sealers marks everyone." She pointed to my wrist, where a faint symbol was etched into my skin, branded when I was drugged. I felt sick. "What is this?" I demanded. "A ritual mark," she said. "It's how they find you, always." We kept moving, the dog's barks growing louder. Claire led us into a thicket, where the trees were so dense the moonlight barely reached us. We crouched, catching our breath. She told me she'd joined the order a year ago, lured by promises of community. Then she saw the truth. Sealers believed he could summon some entity, a Veilwalker, by sacrificing marked members. I was the latest. "You're not the first," she said. "I helped bury the others." My blood ran cold. I wanted to scream, to run, but there was nowhere to go. The dogs were close now, their howls echoing. Claire grabbed my hand. "There's a ranger station a mile west. If we make it, we're safe." But as she spoke, a figure emerged from the shadows. Sealers, his temple still bleeding, his smile unhinged. "You can't outrun the veil, Ethan," he said, stepping closer. Claire screamed, and I raised the knife, my hands trembling. This was it. Fight or die. Sealers stood there, his silhouette menacing against the moonlit thicket, his eyes gleaming with a twisted certainty. The knife in my hand felt like a toy against his presence. Claire clutched my arm, her breath ragged. "Don't let him talk," she whispered. "He'll get in your head." But Sealers was already speaking, his voice low and hypnotic. "Ethan, you were chosen. The Veilwalker demands your soul to cross over. Don't you want purpose?" His words slithered into my mind, almost convincing, but the fresh brand on my wrist burned, snapping me back. I lunged, slashing the knife at him. He dodged with a natural speed, grabbing my wrist and twisting it until the blade dropped. Pain shot through my arm, but Claire tackled him, her small frame barely budging him. It gave me a second to scoop up the knife. "What?" I yelled, pulling her with me. We crashed through the thicket, thorns tearing at my skin. The dogs were closer, their snarls mixing with the cult's chants echoing through the trees. We sprinted toward the ranger station Clay mentioned, my legs screaming from exhaustion. The forest seemed to twist around us, like it was alive and conspiring with Sealers. My mind flashed to the altar, the drug, the bodies Claire said she'd buried. How many had died out here? How had no one noticed? The thought fueled my desperation. I wasn't going to be another unmarked grave. Claire stumbled, her ankle twisting on a rock. I hauled her up, half carrying her as we pushed on. The barking was deafening now, dogs couldn't be far. Then I saw it, a faint light through the trees, the ranger station. Hope surged, but so did the sound of footsteps. Too many. I glanced back, shadows moved in the dark, maybe 6 or 7 cult members, the white robes glowing like ghosts. We burst into a clearing, the station just ahead, a small cabin with a single light burning. I pounded on the door, screaming for help. No answer. Claire fumbled with the knob, it was locked. "Break it," she gasped. I rammed my shoulder into the door, once, twice, until it splintered. We stumbled inside, slamming it shut and shoving a desk against it. My heart hammered as I scanned the room, a radio, a rifle on the wall, a map. The radio crackled to life before I touched it. "Ethan," Sealers' voice purred through the static. "You can't hide, the veil sees you." Claire's face went pale. "How?" she whispered. I didn't know, but the brand on my wrist dropped like it was alive. The dogs were at the door now, scratching and snarling. I grabbed the rifle, checking it loaded, thank God. The window shattered, and a robed figure climbed through, eyes wild. I didn't think. I fired. The figure dropped, and Claire screamed. The door rattled harder. We were trapped. The gunshot's echo rang in my ears as the cult member's body hit the floor, blood pooling beneath the white robe. Claire was shaking, her eyes locked on the corpse. I wanted to puke, but there was no time. The door shouted under heavy blows, wood splintering, dogs snarling outside. I gripped the rifle, my hands slick with sweat, and scanned the ranger station. The radio was still crackling, Sealers' voice taunting. "The Veilwalker is coming, Ethan. You can't stop it." The brand on my wrist burned hotter, like it was pulsing with his words. "Help me." I snapped at Claire, shoving another chair against the door. She blinked, snapping out of her shock, and grabbed a fire poker from the corner. The window was a problem Mark could climb through. I dragged a cabinet to block it, my muscles screaming. The room was small, cluttered with maps and old equipment, but I spotted a trapdoor in the floor. Eh? I pointed. Claire nodded, and we pried it open, revealing a damp, dark crawl space. We dropped inside just as the door gave way. The stench of mold hit me, but I didn't care. We crawled through the tight space, dirt smearing my face, until we reached a metal grate leading outside. I kicked it open, and we tumbled into the grass behind the station. The dogs were still at the front, barking furiously, but we had a head start. Which way? I whispered. Claire pointed west, toward a faint glow, maybe a town. We ran, the rifle heavy in my arms. The forest was quieter now, but that made it worse. Every rustle felt like a cultist closing in. My wrist throbbed, and I swore I heard whispers, not Silas, but something else, unnatural, like the air itself was speaking. Claire noticed my grimace. It's the mark, she said. It ties you to the Veil Walker. They believe it's a god, but it's something else. Her voice trembled. She'd seen it, I realized, whatever it was. We reached a dirt road, the glow brighter now. Headlights flashed in the distance. Relief hit me, but Claire grabbed my arm. Wait, they have people everywhere. I froze. A truck slowed, an older man leaning out. You folks okay? He asked. His voice seemed kind, but his eyes lingered on my wrist. Claire's grip tightened. Don't trust him, she whispered. I raised the rifle, my voice shaking. Back off. He frowned, then sped away. We kept moving, sticking to the tree line. The brand was unbearable now, like a hot coal under my skin. Then I saw a shadow in the trees, too tall, too thin, moving without sound. Claire gasped, her face white. It's here, she whispered. The air grew heavy, and my vision blurred. The shadow stopped, watching us. I raised the rifle, but my hands wouldn't move. It wasn't human. And it knew my name. The shadow loomed, its form shifting like smoke, too tall to be human, its edges blurring into the trees. My wrist burned so fiercely I nearly dropped the rifle. Claire was frozen, her breath shallow, muttering, Veil Walker, it's real. The air felt thick, pressing against my chest, and a low hum vibrated in my skull, whispering my name, Ethan. Ethan in a voice that wasn't Silas's. It was older, hungrier. I wanted to run, but my legs were rooted, the brand on my wrist pulsing like a heartbeat. Claire grabbed my arm, snapping me out of it. Move, she hissed, pulling me toward the road. The shadow didn't chase, but I felt its gaze heavy and inescapable. We stumbled onto the pavement, the distant town's glow closer now. My mind raced, had Silas summoned this thing, or was it always there, waiting? The rifle felt useless against something that didn't bleed. Claire's face was ashen, but she kept pushing forward, her fire poker clutched like a lifeline. We reached the edge of a small town, a gas station's neon sign buzzing ahead. My heart lifted, people, safety. But the brand rode harder, and I swear the shadow flickered in the corner of my eye, just beyond the light. Inside the station, a clerk looked up, startled. You okay? He asked. I opened my mouth, but Claire cut in, we need a phone, now. Her voice was sharp, desperate. The clerk handed us a landline, eyeing my torn clothes and the rifle. I dialed 911, my hand shaking as I explained the cult. Ritual. Attack. The operator sounded skeptical, but promised a patrol car. Claire whispered, they'll find us. The mark, I glanced at my wrist, the symbol was red, inflamed, like it was alive. The clerk offered water, but I couldn't drink, my stomach churned, the hum in my head growing louder. Outside, headlights flashed. Cops. Too soon. Claire tensed. It's them. A black van screeched into the lot, and 3 robed figures spilled out, Silas among them, his face bruised but smiling. I raised the rifle, shouting for the clerk to get down. Silas didn't flinch. The Veil Walker chose you, Ethan. You can't run. I fired, the bullet grazing his shoulder. He staggered but kept coming, his eyes feverish. Claire swung her poker, catching one of the others in the jaw. The third tackled me, and the rifle clattered away. I fought, clawing at the figure's face, but the brand seared, sapping my strength. Then sirens. Red and blue lights flooded the lot. The cultists froze, then scattered as police cars screeched in. Silas vanished into the dark, but the shadow lingered in my vision, watching. The cops cuffed the remaining cultist, bombarding us with questions. I didn't mention the shadow, no one would believe me. As they drove us to the station, my wrist still burned. I knew it wasn't over. The Veil Walker was still out there, waiting.